So I'm going to do a dopamine detox. Some people call it a dopamine fast. And the reason why is my actions over the last few months have basically left me a little bit addicted to dopamine releases. It's left me in a little bit of pleasure-seeking state. And, I'm just looking for the next high. Let me explain, right? So over the last few months, I have been drastically trying to improve my business because I have a goal of getting to 100 grand a month. I know that sounds ridiculous, right? But after that, my goal will be to get to like $1 million a month. That might sound like a lot, but I've worked quite hard to get my business to where it is right now. But let me just explain. I've been desperately trying to keep my eye out for like trends, for like keep my ears and eyes to the ground, pretty much listening out to what pivots most people are making, what opportunities are out there. And to do that, I've had to essentially get myself involved in different apps. I've had to really be scouring on YouTube, really be like scouring in different communities I'm involved in. I've had to get myself on TikTok as well to try and understand what everyone's looking at, what like general people are interested in at the moment. As a consequence, I've found like crypto. I've learned an awful lot about that. I've learned an awful lot about NFTs. I'm going to talk about this in a different video about like how I made a lot of money doing that. I've also really repivoted like my entire business. I'm also building a brand new business at the moment as well. And I have found some really good opportunities by taking these actions. But as a consequence, every action that you do, there's a price to pay, right? And I knew this was going to be the price to pay. So I've went on some of the most addictive apps for months, right? And as a result of going on some of the most addictive apps, I have become a little bit addicted. Now, let me explain why that happens. The platforms and, the social medias of the world actually hire some of the best scientists ever to make their apps more addictive. They've got technicians, they've got data scientists, right? They've got actual psychology scientists as well, like neuroscientists, right? And they're all engineered to basically keep you on these apps as long as possible. And the reason they do this is because the longer you stay on an app, let's just take TikTok for an example, which by the way is cancer, okay? It is really bad because it's so addictive, okay? These guys engineer the apps to make them as addictive as possible because the longer you stay on the platform, the more likely you are to view ads on the platform, adverts, and the more you view adverts on the platform, the more likely you are to basically buy the advertiser's products, right? If you click on these ads, the platform generally gets paid because that is now a cost per click for the advertiser and for the platform as well. So the platform, if I was going to go and advertise a product on like TikTok, I would have to pay a certain amount to get in front of more eyeballs, right? So the platform is benefiting by giving me more ads. So it's in the platform's like best interest to keep me on there, right? Because they get more money, the customer gets more money as well, and I ultimately lose out. So they try and make these algorithms as addictive as possible. And there's actual studies done on this, like just how addictive they are. For instance, this isn't an actual study, but this is my own perception. TikTok is constantly serving me things. It knows I'm, a youngish male, right? I'm not middle-aged, but it knows I'm a male under 40, and it knows I should have a particular interest. And constantly TikTok, like every 3 videos is giving me either get rich quick schemes, it's telling me how I can make $1 million, it's telling me like how I can drive this awesome sports car, or it's got some like girl twerking in front of the camera. It's just literally showing me these videos again and again and again. And after a while of viewing this, because these are, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, these are like some of the most base level. It's like security, money, right? And it's also like relationships as well, like mates, because that's what people need, right? So it's showing me all these things again, and it's tripping and tripping and tripping my dopamine. I'm trying to keep this high level, not to bore you too much. But basically, this is what's happening. And what your dopamine is your dopamine is like a neurotransmitter in your head. You have like a bunch of them. You have like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, noradrenaline, and they're all responsible for different things. So for instance, if your serotonin is very high, you will be, much happier. If it's very low, you will be anxious. People with like anxiety, obviously there's a multitude of factors for somebody who's got anxiety, but one of the factors is they have low serotonin. So they get given serotonin reuptake inhibitors, right? To continuously take up serotonin to make themselves feel less anxious, right? But dopamine is responsible for reward. It's responsible for confidence, happiness. Every time you get some good food, you get a dopamine release, right? Every time you click on a notification on your phone, you get a dopamine release. If you unlock something in a video game, dopamine release, right? It's reward. If you, I'm trying to think of other good dopamine releases, you watch Netflix, right? A really good show, and you think, God, I really want to watch another episode of that. Dopamine release, right? And the thing is, like, the whole of life is pretty much geared towards now you having these dopamine releases. And what can happen after a while is that you get quite addicted to it, and it can manifest itself in a bunch of different ways. So you stop getting pleasure out of basic things. Taking your dog for a walk, you're like, this is super boring. Reading a book, this is super boring. I can't concentrate on anything. It can manifest itself in ways like that, but it can also manifest itself in basically like continuously craving reward and continuously craving reward. So over the last few months, I've been trying to build things out. I've been sort of scouring the ground for looking for different trends, different opportunities. I found a bunch, but as a consequence, I'm now continuously craving reward, continuously craving the next dopamine hit. I found myself on TikTok looking through, even though I just got it for research purposes, like lost in a frigging rabbit hole. Oh, that's a great video. That's a great video. That's a great video. It's ridiculous, right? That's probably one of the worst apps, okay? And I have been like partying and going out on the weekends as well. Like everyone should have a bit of fun. But like I'm finding myself continuously craving it as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a dopamine detox just to hit pretty much a quick short circuit this, right? And a dopamine detox is where we take all those activities, we strip them all out to bring those dopamine levels, the cravings a little bit down, right? We're gonna get rid of some of those impulses because I need to get rid of some of those impulses because I've become a little bit addicted over, the last few months. I'm only human. I'm a disciplined person as well, which is really funny that it's got me like this, that I can't, even a disciplined person like me, like, here's an example of how I'm disciplined, right? I don't really eat any junk food at all. I have been going to the gym 5 to 6 days a week for the last 10 to 15 years. I did high discipline sports where you need to be disciplined, boxing, Muay Thai kickboxing, MMA, submission wrestling, karate when I was a kid. I've done high discipline sports where if you don't really keep up with them and you don't stay disciplined, like you get your ass beat pretty much, all right? So, and it still got me as well. So what does that show you? It shows that like, it doesn't matter how disciplined of a person you are, they've hired the top scientists in the world to try and get you addicted to things, and it's got me a little bit addicted. So what a dopamine detox is we're gonna strip all of that away. Now I've got a list here of the things I'm gonna strip out. I'm just gonna do it for a week. I'm gonna see if it like sort of short circuits it for a week and brings all those levels back down. If you guys wanna do it with me, I highly recommend you do it with me as well. Comment below this video if you want to do it with me, because then I can make an update video in like a week's time. If you don't comment, I won't make an update video. So we're going to do that first of all. Here's some of the things which are recommended that you cut out. I've got a list of them here. Okay. So it's recommended that you cut out social media, delete all apps. that's going to be a bit of a problem. And the reason why it's going to be a bit of a problem is because I run my business on social media, right? So what I've got to do is just allocate myself time periods per day to cut out social media. So I'll only go on YouTube to upload videos, I'll only go on LinkedIn to either message prospects, brand new prospects, post some content, reply to comments as well. I've got to limit myself a quick hour to do this so I don't get dragged down the rabbit hole of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, because that's the real problem there. And it was so much a problem that super disciplined me was finding that I was making my to-do list for the day, which would be easily accomplished by myself. And then suddenly I was getting towards the end of the day, I was like, damn man, like I haven't really accomplished that much today. I've like accomplished, so you're always gonna have days like that, right? But I was like, I've accomplished some things, but like I've just not moved at the typical speed I would have moved typically, right? So, and the reason why is because I was just getting super, super distracted. And even when I was working, I could feel this like little niggle in the back of my brain, like, I should check my phone, I've got to check my phone, got to check my phone, got to check my phone, right? So first of all, I'm going to delete the social media apps off my phone because it's just going to put it out of reach, right? So if I was gonna go on social media, I need to come to my computer to do it, but I'm going to come to my computer and I've only got a quick time frame to leap in, do the relevant stuff, leap out as well. Okay, so that's first thing. Social media, delete all apps. TikTok's probably going to be a bit of a bummer because I'm going to try and build my brand up on there as well. And I know supposedly they punish you if you don't upload through the actual phone app as well, which is another way to keep you addicted, right? So if you upload through the computer, it's a bit of a pain to do it, but they can't just put video and video and video in front of your face. So as a consequence, they don't give the videos you upload to your computer as much reach. That's the rumor. It's been tested a few times. I'm not sure the truth to it, but like a lot of anecdotal evidence has shown that's actually true. Kind of corrupt, right? You have to upload the app, upload through the app, because they know you're more likely to check through videos and stay on the platform that way if you do that. But they'll punish you if you upload through the website. They won't give you videos as much reach. Like I say, I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, it's not good, man. Anyway, no TV, no video games. So no TV, I don't really watch that much TV anyway. My girlfriend loves TV. She gets in from work and she loves to sit down and couch potato in front of the TV. Occasionally she goes to the gym at night as well, but like she uses it as like a reward thing. So maybe I could do something else during the few hours at night, or maybe we go for a walk or something like that as well. She's going to help me with that so we can cut the TV out. No video games as well. I've like downloaded an official list of what you should cut out here. No video games. I don't really play video games too much anyway, right? I used to play them a lot when I was like 13, 14, 15. I was very addicted then. I guess that's like typical teenage boy behavior. I used to sometimes stay up all night to complete a video game and like go to college the next day and friggin' be an absolute zombie, right? And I could never really understand how I couldn't retain any information, probably because I was massively sleep deprived. I don't really play video games too much anyway. I don't think it's too much of a problem, right? Enough for me to have to put blocks in place. I've also got on the list here, it says no junk food. Like I say, I'm a healthy guy. I make sure, I am eating well all the time. I always eat home cooked food. Maybe once every 2 months I'll get like a McDonald's or a Domino's pizza or something like that. And when I do, I feel friggin' awful afterwards, but I don't really eat too much junk food anyway for it to be too much of a problem. With that being said though, I'm not going to eat any in the next 7 days, okay? It's just 7 days, we can cut it out. Nothing at all, not even a biscuit, right? Next one, no alcohol plus drugs. I don't take drugs anyway. The only potentially type drug stuff I do take is nootropics. I can make a whole different video on like supplementation, vitamins, things which help my mind work a lot better as well. If you're interested, you can, leave that in a comment below the video, but I don't take like any, what these guys are classing as like drugs. So alcohol, I typically drink once every 2 weeks. We'll go out for like a party, which is way more than I used to do, to be honest with you. Throughout my late 20s, I spent pretty much the whole of my time pretty much like working. I'd see I'd go out for a big party maybe like once every 6 months or something. But at the moment, I probably do it every 2 weeks, because I think it's good to get out of the house, particularly as we've eased all the lockdowns and everything. With that said, though, I won't do any for the next 7 days, okay? Because we want to cut out all of those pleasure-seeking activities to ground me more down to earth. So I've not got this constant niggle in the back of my brain being like, Rob, you need to go and do this. Rob, you need to go and, you should pick up your phone, you should check it, etc., etc. Okay. So my phone will be on flight mode in the other room, because that's a big problem, is scrolling on your phone. It will be on flight mode in the other room for like the whole time I'm working, pretty much. I'll allocate myself, when I have my lunch, 20 minutes to go and check my phone. Or if I go out for a walk, I will potentially listen to music as well. We've got here bed by 11. My bedtime has got a little bit unruly over the last few months as well. And the reason why it's got unruly is because I'm sure you guys can get this, but occasionally you'll stay up and you feel like this is my time now, right? It's like a control thing. It's like, this is my time now. Like if I want to stay up late and just, just basically procrastinate from going to bed. I've always had a habit of doing that. I have to force myself to go to bed. And I haven't got it with me right now, but I actually have an Oura ring, and an Oura ring tells you the quality of sleep you get. And what it tells me on it from all the data, right? Even though I think I'm a night owl, I actually have significantly worse quality sleep if I go to bed 11 onwards, right? So if I go to bed 11 onwards, it's most likely I will still wake up at 7. Anyway, even if I go to bed at 1, I'll still wake up at 7, right? If I go to bed at 10, or start to shut my eyes around 10, then I actually have much better quality sleep, okay? So just something strange there, right? Like my own perception doesn't reflect the quantitative data that I'm actually getting better sleep. My heart's more rested. So super interesting. I think that's super interesting takeaway, because oftentimes we come up with these ideas like, oh, I'm a night owl, or, if you're, you're a guy and you're trying to put on weight to build muscle, oh, it doesn't matter what I eat. But as Peter Drucker says, he says, really famous guy, he talks about time management and things like this. He says that whatever gets measured gets managed. So if you track these things, track your sleep, track how many times you actually go on your phone, right? Track how many calories you're eating a day. I do all these things. You actually find that you're generally quite surprised at the result, because oftentimes we do all these things subconsciously. We think we can't put on any weight if we're trying to diet or bulk, or we think we can't lose any weight. But then when you actually measure it, all we've done is we've took it's like confirmation bias. We've took a mental note of the day we didn't eat that much, and we're like, oh, I don't even eat that much. All I've had is an orange today, and I still haven't lost any weight. When the other 5 days that you've just not remembered actually shows that you've overeaten or whatever. You get the idea. But that's just something interesting. So I've got to go to bed before 11. I think it's something good to really stick to. That is just because I'm a bedtime procrastinator, right? Meditation as well. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever done meditation, but there's actual studies out there. If you just go on Google and type meditation studies, it shows that if you consistently meditate for 15 to 20 minutes a day, every day, it doesn't take long before your decision-making ability and your cognitive abilities actually improve. There's actual science and research behind it. And for me, I used to meditate, probably between 20 and 25. I used to meditate most of the time. As I've got older, I'll do it for like 2 months and then stop for like 6 months and then do it for 3 months, and then it's a bit all over the place. But for the next week, I'm going to meditate. Just 20 minutes a day. And what you find is that if you can sit with your thoughts for 20 minutes, it's also getting rid of those dopamine reflexes, those dopamine cravings that you just like, oh, I need to do something. It helps you like control it a little bit. And all meditating is doing is literally sitting there. You can have your eyes open, you can close them. Some people prefer them closed, some people prefer them open. You sit there and just concentrate on your breath. Set a phone timer, 20 minutes. Just concentrate on your breath. And what you'll find is that you will get all these thoughts just popping into your head. Like this, bam, 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 popping into your head. You don't realize like quite how busy your mind is until you try and keep it quiet. And all you do is you just, as soon as you like, oh, I wonder how long I've been sat there, and you realize that you're thinking, you just bring it straight back to concentrate on the breath. Concentrate on the breath, and your brain wanders again. And then eventually what happens is you do this over a bunch of sessions, say like, if you've never done it before, probably like seven times in a row. And then suddenly on the 7th session, you'll get like 30 seconds where you start thinking again, but you think to yourself, I've actually just not had any thoughts for the last 30 seconds. So that's what you want to aim for. That's called presence right there. So I'm going to meditate for the next 7 days. I'm going to keep up with it 20 minutes per day, and we'll see how that affects me. I think it will be a pretty good effect coming from that I used to meditate all the time as well. But since we're going to do dopamine detox, we might as well add in the meditation as well, which is designed to quiet your mind, quiet the chitter chatter as well. Also, for you guys out there suffering from depression, anxiety, it does help manage anxiety. It does help manage both of those things. You know, it's not a cure. It's not like something's just going to happen which just completely cures you, but it will help you manage those things, just because it can help manage the negative cycles of thought that you experience as well. Okay, so what else have we got here? We've got no coffee here as well. I drink I'm having teeth whitening at the moment, so I'm actually not drinking any coffee at all. And if I do have one, I have it with like a straw, and I don't feel like it's gonna add enough weight for me to cut out. You know, I don't feel like the benefit is really going to be there because I'm not really addicted to it. So I've taken this list off the internet for things that I should be cutting out if I'm going to do a dopamine detox. However, I've modified it a little bit because I'm not really going to cut some things out that I don't feel are impacting me. What is impacting me? Social media massively, right? What else is impacting me? You know, I've been partying more on the weekends, probably because I'm just craving a bit more of a high, right? But these things are detracting away from my goals. My goals are to get to 100 grand a month, then it's to get to 1 million a month. And don't get me wrong, like going on all these apps and looking at trends, looking at what's big right now has been helpful as well, but I knew it would come to this. So for instance, it has been helpful because, you know, I've profited drastically off crypto. I've profited drastically off NFTs as well. Like I said, like I'm going to make a video on those soon, just to tell you a little bit about what I've been up to, what I've learned as well, how you can apply it as well to make some money on your own, some passive income, as well as some, you know, lump sum income as well. So if you think I've missed anything in this video, you think I should be doing something when I really haven't, leave me a comment below and I will try and add it in, right? I'll even provide a little update if this video gets some traction as well, just to let you all know how things go on. But what day is it? It's Thursday right now as I'm filming this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from Monday to Sunday next week. But over the next few days, I'm gonna not do it completely cold turkey. I'm just gonna ease things out, just cut down on things, because it isn't like, you don't have like infinity willpower, right? You can, you know, have all these distractions around you, but eventually you will cave to them, right? But because of this, you don't want to go instantly cold turkey either, because sometimes it makes it actually way more harder to quit you think you're doing like a good thing. So the number one reason why most people fail all their New Year's resolutions is because they take on a huge bunch of tasks at the same time, right? Your human mind is penetrable, okay? So I see people at New Year's, they're like, I'm gonna build a business, I'm gonna lose all this weight, I'm gonna get really muscular, I'm gonna stop smoking, I'm gonna quit coffee, right? They do like 5 different things, and the average person, like something ridiculous, like friggin' 80% of people have stopped going to the gym by the second week of January, right? Like after the second week is finished of January, they stopped going to the gym completely. Like they've already given up on that New Year's resolution. And by like the end of January, like 80 to 90% of people have quit completely like their New Year's resolutions they set for themselves. And the reason why is they took too much on, right? They tried to create too many changes at once. So if you're going to do changes, you should start right now, but you should do it gradually, ease yourself into it. There's that horrible saying, and I think it's actually true. Like in some countries, they eat like frogs, and the way to cook a frog is that you put the frog in cold water and then warm the water up, and because it's gradual, it can't really tell that the water's getting hot. It's horrible, I know, but if you put it into like hot water straight away, it jumps straight out. So your brain kind of works the same. You need to just do these things gradually. And if you can just short circuit it just for a week to break your patterns, all we're looking for here is a pattern break. I'm not looking for a lifestyle or anything, because some of these things are useful. I know there's a lot of like dopamine detox videos all over YouTube, and they're like, you should live like this, like a caveman, and don't let another thing enter your body. Yeah, well, you know what? I also want a little bit of a life as well. So if I can short circuit some of these things, some of them I won't need afterwards. If I need to carry it on for 2 weeks, I'll certainly do that as well. But at least we get rid of pretty much like the bulk of the things, right? Just that stop right there, just that stop, then I can continue on afterwards. And if I feel like I need a bit longer, I'll do a bit longer. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I rambled a little bit at the end there, but telling you exactly what I'm doing. If you want to do it as well, I'm going to be starting on Monday, what date is it on Monday? The 9th, all the way to the 15th. I'm going to release this video tomorrow, so you guys know what I'm up to as well. And then from there, we will, we'll see how things go. But hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one, and yeah, take care.